I'm so pleased to welcome Connie Canaday Howard back to the show, who you know very well as the head of the theater department at the College of DuPage, hot off directing a successful run of Time Stands Still with Buffalo Theater Ensemble. Connie's next project is directing The Diary of Anne Frank for the College Theater. Welcome, Connie.
Hi.
Well, so I loved that book when I was young. I remember reading it in, I think, grade school. Did you read the book?
I did.
So there's something about that book that stays with you, I think, as a child, as an adult. But as you're directing it now, you know, our perspective changes. What's striking you now as you're working on this piece?
A couple of things. I think, you know, what people who don't know the piece, and it's surprising how many people don't know it or know about it but don't really know it, is that part of it is a coming-of-age story. It's about growing up. It's just growing up in very extreme circumstances. So it's dealing with familial issues and friend issues and you know, budding romance issues. So it's that. In fact, part of the story is sort of this budding romance, young romance, in a really improbable situation. But what hits me the most is that particularly with the rewrites that happened in the what's called the new version, but it's been around for 20 years. Kesselman's adaptation is that it's really a glimpse into the determination and courage and human spirit that were present in these individuals, and a glimpse into the horror of the Holocaust from a really personal view. So those are the things that strike me most. I think actually some of that is because in the rewrite, there was 30% added to what I read when I was a child. There's 30% new material that came from the diary that her dad, Otto, deleted before it was published the first time, because it was, you know, questioning her mother, and it was about some of the fear that she felt. And so it was republished, and I think it's even more moving than the one that I read when I was in grade school.
I saw the new version, and I found it more suspenseful, too. I think that the new version creates the danger factor a little bit better, that you realize what's at stake.
I agree.
And that I found to be really powerful in the show, because you're moving along and you're seeing this relationship and you hear those knocks and your stomach just freezes. You're like, oh my gosh.
Right.
One thing I think is interesting about this piece is the courage of the family who hides them.
Yes.
Who we don't really see.
Kraler and Meeben, they're really important characters, and are historical figures. So he actually went to a concentration camp as well. She wasn't at work when they were taken, so she was actually the person who found the diary and preserved it.
Oh, I did not know that.
Until Otto was released. But they are, what Mr. Frank calls them is that they are true friends. They're friends even in this world that we know. They're true friends. And that's what you see again and again in their little glimpses, because they couldn't have survived without them.
No.
They kept them alive. So,
It's a timely piece right now. There's 2 Oscar nominees about, you know, World War II. And I think World War II is always timely. It's always important. It's always right. What do you hope to have your audience walk away with when they see this show?
I think I imagine that in 2 weeks' time I might come up with something else.
That's okay. You can.
As we morph in rehearsal. But I think what hits me the most is that, and it hits me often when I'm looking at pieces, contemporary pieces, is about the need to stand up for what's right, even when you're the minority or the sole voice. That without that, the world is unbalanced. There's no one questioning what is clearly not right, not humane, not that there are bigger,
not logical. There's
correct.
Just no right, and the demonization was just and everybody's afraid, right?
Right.
And how important and how quickly those things can escalate. And I think it's just such a important message.
I think I think there are metaphors to today. I was talking this morning with somebody, one of my students actually, who was in a conversation last night on Facebook that I was not a part of. I mean, I'm not friends on Facebook, but it had escalated very quickly. And she was talking to me just because she wanted a mentor, you know. But I think so many people who were found in hiding were not discovered by the Nazis. They were turned in by neighbors who had been friends. So, and part of that is survival too. And that's part of the question, how were they really found? That's a question that remains today. There are strong theories, but we don't know for sure
How they were found.
Because it was almost a full 2 years. And the tide had already started to turn. If they'd made it just a few more months, it might have been a completely different ending to the story.
There's something about this story, though, that it seems like everybody's read it. Everybody loves this story. I'm glad you're doing this because it is powerful and it is something that relates to so many people. I think we've had to add extra shows, right, for school groups who want to hear this story. It's one of those stories that you can never see it enough.
Right.
You know?
Right.
How many students will be performing this show?
Oh, I didn't count.
I'm sorry.
12.
12 in the show? Awesome. And are you excited about the cast?
Yes. It's some people I've worked with before on completely different projects, and other people it's their first show. So it's fun.
What a great show to get to put on your resume as a student. I mean, it's just awesome. Well, I can't wait to see it. So we will all be rooting you on.
Thank you.
And wishing you the best in your opening, and get your tickets, right?
Yes.
All right. The Diary of Anne Frank will run April 5th through April 15th in the Playhouse Theater. For tickets or more information, call 630-942-4000 or visit atthemac.org. That's all the time we have for today, but be sure to tune in next month for even more behind-the-scenes interviews. I'm Diana Martinez. Thanks for watching. We look forward to seeing you at the theater and next time on Backstage Buzz.
My name is Azim Anjum. I work at Sargent & Lundy. They are a power plant design firm. I am a mechanical engineer. In high school, just like everybody else, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I took some physics classes, and I really enjoyed them. And then engineering is the application of physics, and COD was a good way to test that. I was able to basically see if that was a good path for me without, taking a major risk. The engineering department at College of DuPage had teachers that gave students individual attention, actually made sure that the students learned the content rather than the large lecture halls. If I did not go to College of DuPage, I would be a little behind. They gave me opportunities to pursue internships, and it's because of these opportunities that I'm at the position I am today.